When we hear about Middle East, we immediately think about the oil, power and war. But there is a silent crisis that has been building in the background, a crisis that can affect millions of lives every day. And it's not about oil, it's not about weapon or power. It's about water. Yes, you heard it right, it's water. Across countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iran and Kuwait, water is becoming a biggest concern now. And in those regions, water doesn't come from rain or rivers. It is manufactured through machines, and those machines are at risk now. The Middle East and North Africa is the world's most water scarce region. While the Middle East and North Africa serves or it contains nearly 6% of total world's population, it receives only 2% of world's renewable water source, and there is very little rainfall, almost no major rivers, and the groundwater or underwater is overused. And according to global reports, many countries here are facing extreme water crisis. And organizations like UNICEF has already warned that these countries have extreme water crisis, which becomes the major threat to the survival of people in those regions. But how do these countries survive? And they depend on one process called desalination. Desalination is the process of turning the seawater into drinking water, and nearly 90% of Gulf regions depend on this desalination water. And the countries like Dubai and Riyadh also depend mostly on this desalination plants. So without desalination, homes could not get water and the hospitals could stop functioning and the entire cities could shut down. And now comes the dangerous part. With rising tensions involving the countries like Israel, Iran and their allies, initially the attacks were focused mainly on oil fields and military bases. But now it has been shifted to the critical infrastructure like water plants. And there have already been reports of the drone attacks on desalination facilities and to damage the water infrastructure. Syed Abbas Araghchi, the Iranian foreign minister, posted on X saying that the US forces has attacked the water desalination plant in Qasem Island, and therefore nearly 30 villages have been impacted because of this. And this is a serious shift because attacking the water plant means attacking the civilians directly. So if water supply is hit, what happens? Prices go high and the economy suffers. But if water supply hits, what happens is the extreme dangerous thing, because people could not drink water, the hygiene collapses, diseases spread, and within 2 to 3 days, the entire cities will be spread of water shortages, panic buying, and social unrest. And already there is a huge famine in those war zones, and attacking these water desalination plants could worsen the situation even more. And experts warn that even a single major attack can disrupt the water supply for millions of people. And this is not just about the war, it's about a human survival. And the biggest victims of these is children. The UNICEF reports highlight that water shortages may lead to malnutrition and poor sanitation leads to diseases. And children are the first to suffer in the crisis, and in war zone, lack of clean water may lead to a cholera outbreak, dehydration and long-term health problems. So this war is not just about political, it's deeply human. And there is another layer to this problem, that is climatic change. And rising temperatures in the Middle East causes the increase in evaporation and reduces the groundwater and makes the desalination even more important. But the desalination itself needs energy, infrastructure and stability, and this current war threatens all these three things. And we might think that this is far away, just happening somewhere in the world. Why must we worry? But the Middle East is connected to the entire world. And for countries like India, millions of people are working in the Gulf, and the trade and energy are related and dependent on this region. And if the crisis worsens, it can affect the global stability, triggers migration and disrupt the economies. So yes, the entire world is watching only the oil prices, but there is something that is very important and dangerous, because in the Middle East, the oil drives the economy, but water sustains life. And if the conflict continues, we may not just be looking at only the war, but a serious water crisis that impact millions of lives every day. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.